Thank you, Mike and Steve.
Okay, it must be understood that OCPs are meant to be important guidelines for future development. And the committee that develops an OCP works with the best information they have at the time of creating that OCP. And nobody can predict what different scenarios can come forward once planning starts on a project. And this could then create amendments to an OCP which have to be adjudicated and discussed publicly. The community concerns are listened to, but decisions should be based on the broad picture, which includes a number of things. First, the community concerns. Secondly, staff reports. And third, what is best for the District of Sechelt as a whole, like in growth, employment, and taxation, to name a few. Thank you.
Thank you.
There's been a pattern in Sechelt, councils overriding community and neighborhood plans. Why have we spent all the time developing these plans to have them repeatedly ignored? We spend the time because we value neighborhoods and we want to preserve our environment. Neighborhoods are the building blocks of our community and give us our sense of well-being. Community plans are not written in stone. However, we need dialogue and discussion when changes are presented. We need to support and respect the majority of residents when their homes and lifestyles are negatively impacted. In my own neighborhood, we've been dealing with a road development that goes against the intent of the neighborhood plan. I worry for you and your neighborhood. Who will be next? If elected, I'll ensure that Tawanik and Sandy Hook get their neighborhood plans in place. I want the visioning document integrated into all the community plans, and I'll resist special interests that seek bylaws to the community plans.
Thank you, Philip. Keith Thurkel.
One of the first things that I had to deal with when I got on council was getting my head around the funding request for the vision plan process and implementation, and it was about $160,000. And I'll tell you, as a self-employed business person, using taxpayers' money for something like that is not easy, but it was a much-needed exercise that I think it had to be done, and I supported it. When it was done, and by the way, it was paid for mostly through development fees. When it was completed, two of us on council asked that in a motion last December that the document be handed out to every developer who comes to the front door. That passed council. There was lots of debate, but it did pass council. The document is there at the front counter. Then I was informed that it was going to cost another $160,000 to review the OCP with the vision plan in mind in changing the OCP and bringing it up to date. We are doing that. The funding, another $160,000 is in place for that, and that is a review that is occurring right now. So that is definitely the hot topic of Sechelt, as you know, is the OCP and how to keep it intact. And I think we're trying our best through the vision plan to do that. Thank you.
Thank you, Keith. And we'll listen to the table to Warren Allen, and I want the community to be thinking the questions you'd like to pose to council, because we're going to move to that just after Warren and Dwayne have had a chance.
Thank you, Bruce. I was asked to sit on the Vision Plan Committee. The only reason, and I stress the only reason I accepted, was that it be incorporated into our official community plan. Why? Because under the Local Government Act, the Vision Plan isn't worth the paper it's printed on. The only document legally recognized under the Local Government Act that you can hold up at a council meeting in our face and say, it says this, how come you did something else, is the official community plan. That's why I want to see the vision plan incorporated into our official community plan integrally. What have I done about it? After the vision plan was completed and presented to council last fall, that was my motion, and I thank Councillor Thurkel for bringing it up at an open council meeting almost a year ago, that requires new development proposals to consider and incorporate the concepts and guidelines of the vision plan. My actions have already spoken louder than words. I will continue to recognize and value community first when voting on issues, and I am proud of my voting record. For the record, while we're on that topic, current council has approved almost 30 comprehensive development zones over the past 3 years. That's almost one a month. Kind of like Swiss cheese. And lastly, for the record, the only ones that I have supported have had the strong endorsement of those neighborhoods be they for or against whatever the official community plan. Because without your support, if you don't support it, I won't. Thank you.
Go ahead, Glenn.
I would say that the official community plan is a living document, it's a living organism, and it's going to be changing as our needs change, and we have to make sure that if something comes before us and it is not part of our plan that we put together, then it goes back to you to help us decide where to go. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We're going to grab this one real quick.